Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. In this video, I'm going to be flipping through November 2023 in my Hobonichi Cousin, so go ahead and stick around. Okay, you guys, I can't believe that there's only 1 month left in this planner, and I am both loving what I have going on here and also super excited for the next chapter. I also want to point out that this is getting kind of chunky. I don't glue that many things in, but it is pretty chunky still. I add, thin stuff. I add thin stickers, washi, magazine clippings, a few photos, but definitely printed on thin paper. So it is getting chunky though. Not as chunky as a lot of other ones I have seen, but it is getting so it's difficult to write. So I have been taking it out of my cover pretty much every time I write in it. And then what I end up doing is I will just like flip it back on itself and then open it so that it lays flat, which is not ideal because I would like to be able to leave it in the cover while I'm working, but it is what it is. I don't know, let me know in the comments if you have a different cover, and if you do, are you able to leave it in the cover and still write when it is this chunky? Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. I did have someone ask in maybe my last video, and I think I told you guys this at the beginning of the year when I put it in, but I didn't include it in every video. But I had just kind of turned this first page here into a reference page, like an index, because I don't have an index elsewhere. And some of the things I might want to look back on. So these are the things that I might reference pretty regularly. And otherwise, I don't have things indexed, but that's fine. This is more of a journal / planner, not really a reference note place. There are some things because it is kind of a catch-all, which I'm not doing that again next year in 2024. And if you missed it, I do have a 2024 lineup video, so I will link that up at the eye for you. But I am still going to be using a Hobonichi Cousin in 2024. In 2024 though, my cousin will look very different because it will only be a journal. So you will see, as I flip to my daily pages, this one is transitioning kind of more towards a journal because that's what I'm craving right now. So I've continued my daily trackers here. You can see I still need to set up December. It is currently December 1st when I'm filming this, and I haven't finished doing all of my planning for today because I wanted to get this filmed now that November is completed. And so I haven't set this up yet, but I do plan to track the same things. And I am tracking whether or not I get in my planner every day, if I journal, if I update my budget spreadsheets, if I create something with paper, if I work on my practices, which are, some of those are on paper, some are sewing, they are activities of things that I like to do that there's not really a finished product. It's something that, reading, things that I like to do for fun. And I'm just kind of working on them over time, like a sewing project, that type of thing, where it is a project. It is something there I could technically put it on my to-do list as something I need to check off, but I don't have to. And they're all things that I want to do for fun. And there really isn't a finished spot, or if there is, it's way in the future. So I have started tracking those. That is something I want to just devote time to every day. And I've talked a lot more about that in my previous flip through video. So I will link that one up at the eye for you if you're curious more about practices. I'm also considering doing a series in 2024 of a practice with me of doing all of those types of practices, but I'm not entirely sure what to call it yet or what exactly I will do. So let me know in the comments if you think that sounds like something you'd be interested in, and if you have any thoughts about what you would like to see. I also am tracking whether or not I pick up my house. I like to go around the house and just spend 10 minutes picking up random things that are laying everywhere, straightening stuff. So that's that one. Cleaning the kitchen, which I tend to do every evening after dinner. Reading, which is one I do almost every day. Hitting my 10,000 steps per day, which I'm better at that when the weather's nice. It's been a fairly cold November, but I have hit it a number of days. and then doing Pilates or some other workout. I only got 2 days in, not great, but I'm hopeful to kind of focus on that in December and the new year. Moving to my monthly, I think I'm pretty set on how I do this, and this is how I intend to kind of do my monthlies in my common planner in 2024, which will be my main planner, not journal. There's not really a lot of decoration. I did add some washi tape on here, but this is primarily functional. I'm writing in appointments and that type of thing on here and meetings and stuff ahead of time. Sometimes I will write things in the day of or like right after it happened, just because I wanted to, it was like a big thing that happened that day. So I want to make sure that I just had a note of it. But generally this is only for future planning. On the side here, I have my cleaning trackers, my to-do list. Oh, I forgot to mention those, but though I have talked about it in previous videos, these at the bottom here are my long-term cleaning trackers. So these are the things that I wanted to accomplish in November. I wanted to deep clean my kitchen shelves, put out snow poles, deep clean my shower, and put up the Christmas decor. I did, well, and deep clean the light fixtures. I did 4 of the 5. I didn't get to the light fixtures. I will probably migrate it to December, but we'll see what I end up doing. But I will just write those things over here. And then for this part, these are the ones from previous months that I haven't gotten to. As you can see, they piled up. When I get to the new year, I'm just going to give myself a clean slate and try my best to stay on track. I do always fall behind with cleaning. A lot of times it is not my priority. It is a goal, and I have a very high standard of how I would like my house clean. And so if I don't meet all of these, that's totally fine, but still I do like to keep track of it so I know, when's the last time I cleaned whatever. Then at the bottom here, I have a task list of things that need to get done at some point, but not necessarily scheduled on a specific day. Moving into my weeklies. So starting November started in this week that I did this like time blocking tracker, and I didn't share a key for these online because I didn't want to, it's too much personal information, but I did basically track how I spent my time every single day on specific tasks, and certain things you can see were done like at the same time. So that might be like hanging out with a specific person and watching TV, or eating and being social, or journaling and watching TV. Like those could be things that would be together. And so I've tracked all of that on here to get a better idea of how I spend my time. And the biggest thing that I saw from this is I am so busy and I change tasks very, very frequently. I will do something for like 15 minutes and then do something else. And then I feel like that is what makes me so tired all the time. Some tasks, of course, don't take that long, and maybe like eating lunch, you're going to be eating for like 20 minutes. That's fine. But I do think that I ideally would have longer periods of time to work on specific tasks during my day. This is something I'm not going to do again anytime soon. This is very tedious. And by the end of the week, I was like so thrilled to be done, but I'm very happy that I did it. Moving into the next week, so I've kind of changed up my formula here. If you look back in October, how we had been doing this most of the year was I had put my chores here in a block and kind of designated certain chores on certain days, and then documented my dinner at the bottom. On the left-hand column, I had a task list of things I wanted to get done at some point in that week, and my primary focus for the week, so like my priorities. The top portion, I put the weather across the top, and then this portion was to document kind of generally what happened. So I had that information when I was ready to do project life. Moving into November, I decided to move my chores from the bottom and just put them on the side. And partially that was because this week I needed to move them because I needed this time blocking, and it worked really well. A lot of these chores I don't have to do on specific days. Some of them I do, like taking out the trash has to be on a certain day. But most of them I can do whenever. And so it doesn't really make a ton of sense to schedule them. I also have my other task list, my priorities, and then here I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner tracking rather than just dinner, which I like because it does help me kind of remember what happened for project life purposes. And then I have more space up here to document what happened. I was able to include a lot of stickers. Now I'm using a lot of the Coffee Monsterz Co stickers. I'm still putting the weather across the top, and I am really just, enjoying this format, and I feel like I will continue this format through the end of the year. Here this week, again, same format. I'm adding a washi strip here above the separating kind of my meals with the weekly, like what happened. And so I'm really enjoying that. This one was a coffee one from the Coffee Monsterz Co. This one is, I believe it was from Rifle Paper, and it's like a Christmas one, but it's not super Christmassy. It's very pretty. And then this one, this is kind of like spring colors, even though this was Thanksgiving week. I don't really know why I went with that, but I didn't have like a Thanksgiving washi, and I just kind of wanted to use this one. So I enjoyed that. And then I was using this color to add like details this week. And so I added some hand lettering, but not a ton. And then I did some stamping here to stamp that this was Thanksgiving. And then moving into the current week, I haven't done the December portion, but you can see it's a very similar style, just much brighter for this specific week, based on the washi strip that I selected, which is from the Paper Person shop. Moving to my dailies. So this is my favorite part of this planner, and what I love so much about my cousin, my Hobonichi Cousin, are the daily pages. So I have switched starting last month from doing monthly goals, and instead I'm doing like a bucket list of things I want to do. Like these are things that I want to do for fun, not things that like have to get done. So I decided I wanted to make my home super cozy, read 3 books, prep for Christmas, cook and bake, prioritize practices, get back to yoga, and crush a kit. And then I wrote these out with space, and throughout the month, I've come back to add things in here. So like read 3 books, I wrote the books and then I was reading and the date I finished them. And I did actually accomplish that one. For like prep for Christmas, every time I did something, I would write it in. A lot of times I would put the date. Other times I wouldn't, if it was more of like a general, I finished all my gift shopping. So things like that. And I really like this as more of like a documenting thing. In 2024, I'm considering continuing this in my cousin, or I'm considering doing vision boards. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll see. On the 1st, I had a little bit of journaling. I added something in here and did a bedtime brain dump, which is something that I have done periodically throughout this year, which basically means right before bed, I'm just like writing down all of the things I need to accomplish in the morning or at some point just get done to get them out of my head so I can really relax and go to sleep. This whole year, I've been adding screenshots from the internet that I've printed out, and I included this one here, but I think in November, I didn't really add a ton of them, mostly because I just had a lot of journaling and other things, but here's another one. Here I added some things cut out of magazines. I love that look. It takes so long though to collect things from magazines, and there's not a great way to organize them, but this I think is one of my favorite pages this month or in general. This was my past day Friday, so I decided to use this for a magazine, and my plan was to kind of do like all of these bubbles of all the things I did during the day, but I kind of fell off of it and was just too focused on doing stuff. So I didn't really finish it, so I don't love how it turned out. I ended up filling in this part because I felt like it was too blank, but it's fine. Here I did some longer journaling, which I had to cover some of it up. And then I added in washi and another printout. I don't always journal about like, this is what happened today, but I did that on this day, which is why I needed to cover some up. A lot of times I'm just kind of getting thoughts out of my head. But sometimes when there's like a day that seems more significant or just more interesting or something I want to remember, I will write down like, this is what I did. The 5th was the time change, so I tried to like draw something there. Don't love it, but it's fine. And then I was writing down some tips for the New York Times game Connections, because I was going to share some on Instagram, but then I found an article of tips that was pretty good, so I decided to share that instead. I am really enjoying that game. I'm still playing it and sharing it daily. At some point, I will probably stop sharing them daily just because it seems like, I don't know, like it could get boring for other people, or I might not end up doing it every day at some point, but for now, I'm still doing that. This was another spread that I really, really love. I'm adding in some things printed off the internet, washi tape, things cut out of magazines, sticky notes, and stickers, all sorts of things, plus hand lettering. I have a task list here. I have some journaling. And then this day I took a sick day. So I added that title. I've started to do this style of titling, or like, I don't know if it's title, header, whatever, this style of lettering more often. And I feel like I'm getting a lot better at it. So I really like how they're turning out now, much more than I did when I first started that. And so I'm really thrilled with that. Here's another spread that I really like. Here, I didn't get a ton of journaling done, but I had like a big UGG, which was just like my feeling that day. And then I got a new travel mug. So I stuck the sticker from the travel mug in here just to kind of remember that. And I thought that was super fun. And I got some new washi tapes. So I put that here to document that. These ones are all one roll, but I wanted to get like everything in it, or everything that was on the roll on here. So I had to do 3 times or 4 times to get like the full before the pattern started repeating. This is also one of my favorite spreads. I use this washi, which I absolutely love. It's a Christmas washi that I got also from Rifle Paper Company. I got these 3, and then I got a 3-pack of some Christmas ones. So here's one of them, and then that one. And I added some things from magazines. I added a sticky note, and I'm really loving the combination of washi tape, magazine clippings, sticky notes, and journaling, my hand lettering, and then some things printed off the internet. And I think I will probably do some photos in 2024 too. I have done that in here. I haven't done a ton lately, but I do still really like that. Then I had some super busy days where I just was not planning. I just didn't feel like it. I've used this page to do like a pen test, but otherwise I didn't do anything on here. And then this one, I just never came back. I might come and use it just as a blank page if I need one at some point, or it might stay blank. Another page I absolutely love. Here's the 3rd of those Christmas washi tapes that I picked up. And then I did some kind of notes here of kits that are coming out in 2024. This came out of a magazine. And of course, I have my task list and some journaling. Moving into the 13th, again, with the journaling on this side, my to-do list here, and then a sticky note for some additional notes. A lot of times I do this, and then the sticky note is too big. Sometimes I will just cover it up or cut it off, but this one I ended up just leaving the full thing, and that's okay. Oh. Again, 2 days that I wasn't in my planner, so I used this one to put some washi tape that I just wanted to like test out all of the washi rolls. I think these are like, yeah, these are 2 separate rolls. So I wanted to do all of them, like go through all of them. So that was one about reading and one about traveling. And these were from Everyday Explorers Co. And then I got a new sweater. So I put the sticker on here. And then this was a note. So I did a bedtime brain dump for myself on a sticky note. And rather than throwing it out, I just stuck it right here on a blank page, just, so it would be part of my planner. Here, I wanted to use this washi, but it made sense to go vertical with it, so I used it to split the page. I'm not sure I love the look, but I think it was fun to try it out. And I do really like this, like these letterings that I'm doing. This Friday was my past day, and if you don't know what I mean, I've talked about this before, but my job, I work 9 out of 10 days, so every other Friday I have off and have a 3-day weekend, and so that's called my past day. And when I have my past day, I tend to work pretty much on my YouTube and my craft stuff. Like that's kind of my goal from having those extra days, but sometimes I do other things with it. But here I wanted to do my task list. I had a bunch of things I needed to get done that Friday and over the weekend. And rather than writing out my list every day, I decided to just write everything and kind of track Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what I did when. You can see I didn't get to a lot of things, but that's pretty typical when I have these like super ambitious lists. That Saturday was December Daily Prep Day. So we did some journaling, and I was making these tags on prep day for my daughter's advent calendar, and I actually made extras. So I just ended up adhering some of the extras in here so I would have them. These are thicker on cardstock, so I wouldn't typically add something that thick to here, but it's getting close to the end of the year, so I felt like it was fine. And I just really liked the way they came out. Here for Sunday, I did more just journaling, and rather than doing a task list, I made some bullet points of things like after I accomplished them. And then I did a bedtime brain dump. I really like this day also, even though I didn't really adhere many things down. It was just some journaling, my task list, some random notes. I had some financial notes here that I covered up, but it's on like a craft sticky, which I think goes really well with this color. And then another just like printout of something. A skipped day, which if you've noticed, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my most commonly skipped days in here because those are days that I work in the office. And so I often don't pull this out at all. Here's Wednesday. I had skipped it and come back to it. I got more washi tape, this time from Paper Person. And so I journaled about that and added, samples of all the ones that I picked up, which this was a grab bag. So I didn't actually pick these ones out, but I'm pretty thrilled with the selection I got, although I already had this one, but it is one of my favorites. So I'm kind of happy to have a backup, I guess. Here was Thanksgiving. I had added this Thanksgiving in from a magazine a couple of weeks prior just because I had seen it and I was like, well, this is perfect. So I just adhered it down. So when I came to this day, I already had that starting place. So I pulled this color, which I thought went with it, to do my task list. I did a little journaling, and then I used a prompt washi from Everyday Explorers that said currently enjoying. And so I just decided to kind of reflect on YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram and how I'm enjoying them right now, and added something else from a magazine. Another spread that I absolutely love. This one was Black Friday. I wanted a darker gray, but this is the Tombow that I had. It's like a Tombow dual brush tip pen. And that's what I had in my container that I have all of my markers and stuff where I keep my planner, because I'm not always in my craft room when I'm planning and I don't always want to dig through my stash. So that was one of the few things that I have on me. So I just went with this lighter gray. I think I need to kind of revisit what is carried in that pouch in 2024 and maybe, put some better colors and less colors. I have too many in there right now. If that's something that you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comments and I will prioritize filming a video of what is in my travel pouch with my planner. I did some lists here and some journaling. On Black Friday, I did work that day. So I was kind of looking forward to the weekend. Saturday, I had, some important tasks to do. So rather than taking time to plan, I just made a bullet list. And then one of the things was putting up decoration. So for Christmas, so I took this thing from a magazine as I stand for the point of the fact of the decorations, I guess, just represent the decorations rather than putting a picture of my decorations. November 26th is a Sunday. I was feeling bright pink for whatever reason. I added some washi, I added something from a magazine, I added a printout from Screenshot, journaling, task list, and bedtime brain dump. This is very, very much everything that I like to include, right? I have pretty much all of the elements that I tend to do, although I didn't have this handwriting style. Whoops. Which I typically have this handwriting style as well. Over here on this Monday, I had done my task list and journaling, and I had put this as a title I wanted for the day. I knew it wouldn't fit there, so I did it across the bottom. I had intended to fill this up with journaling, but I just never got around to it. It's totally fine. I'm getting towards the end of the month, and a lot of times I will come back and fill in details of pages, but because it is December 1st, this is only a few days ago, so maybe I will go back and fill it in still, and you will see all of that when I do my end of the year flip through. For November 28th, I just had a blank page. The 29th, again, a blank page. Again, it's Tuesday, Wednesday in the office, and this was an almost blank page, but I added a title for myself and just wanted to put a few words down on the page. And then the last day of the month, yesterday, I did some longer journaling that was reflective. I added this from a magazine and really just kind of wrapped up the month. I did a little bit of reflection on the month, a little bit of looking forward, and just kind of, journaling in here and taking the time to really do that. So that is a look at November 2023 in my Hobonichi Cousin. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me down below. And I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.